SYLBOURNE SYDIAL. It's Wednesday night, 28th of October, 2020. And we're in October, moving on to November. And then we're going to have some, what we call it, virtual Christmas. That's what they're all talking. Virtual Christmas we're going to have this time around. It's going to be a very packed week this week with myself. And I normally come on Wednesdays just to sort of set the stage for the rest of the week, where I set out the relevant programs. Good evening also on Instagram. And hope you're good. Hope you're great. Hope you're fantastic. And I hope everything is well. And I tell you what, everything has got to be well, no matter what the circumstances say, no matter what the situation is. I can guarantee you things will be well. Some people, some people recently say that they don't want to share that during this period of COVID that things have been well with them. Because they feel away because things have not been well with others. My question to you is, have things been well with you through the course of this lockdown? Even though we're depending on where you are in the world, depending on where you are in the UK, depending on whatever the situation is, Jamaica, UK, USA, places are locked down, jobs are down, Manchester down. I think the recent new news, which I just saw recently, is that Macron declares second national lockdown in France. And I put this out to you and I say this question, and I'm not a scientist, and I'm not a conspiracy theory, but I just say, will this lockdown work? WHO of recent days said, and this is what they said government should stop using lockdown as a way to sort things out. I don't know. What do you say? Let's go straight into it. Lockdown, lockdown, lockdown. When you break a horse, I need to get some water here. When you break a horse, think about this, man. And if you don't mind, I'd like if you could share this video as well. I'm going to take some time and share it as well. Share this video on Facebook and share it on YouTube as well, SYLBOURNE TV, Instagram as well. You can share it as well. Share it as much as you can. Think about this for a second. When you're breaking a horse, and I'm not a person that is a horse rider or whatever like that, but you know, watching the movies, one of the things that has to happen is that you've got to go through the process. You can't just start breaking the horse and then abort. You have to continue right through to the end. Because if you don't, you stop the process halfway. You've got to go through to the end to break that horse. And it is like, even in circumstances when you're trying to break through into something, you can't stop halfway. You've got to go through the process and you've got to make it work. So I started to think to myself, and I said, and I was saying to some people recently, I'm not going to say to people, do not wear mask. I'm not going to say to somebody, do not social distance. I'm not going to say to anyone, do not control the virus, do not stay alert. But I started to think to myself, and I said, really and truly, should the lockdown be aborted? Yeah? Hear me out. Should the lockdown be aborted? And then go through the process. Go through the process to the fullness. Right? Now, the death, they say, is increasing. But one of the things that many people are saying, we sometimes do not understand the increase. Are we saying that there is no death when we're not focusing on COVID? What about all the different underlying sicknesses which are happening? The testing has also shown an increase of people having COVID because they're testing and they're tracing and they're becoming a bit very good at that, even though there are some deficiencies as well, as Dr. David will say, like tomorrow when we have our show. I keep thinking about it at the same time, and I said, with the lockdown, there is a devastation which is happening with the economy. a devastation with people's jobs, a devastation with people's mental health. So therefore, the fixing of the COVID is also creating another sickness and another ailment upon the land. Are you with me? Let me hear what you say. I want you to hit me up. I want to share your views. I'm just thinking loudly from an analytical strategic position here. And I'm no scientist. And I keep saying to myself, with the country ailing, with the people ailing economically, with an increase of persons don't have any food. That is why Marcus Rashford is saying, give the children some, give the families some help that need food. You cannot tell me that one of the reasons why that is happening is because of some of the impact of COVID. In my local neighborhood where I live, I know some one of the sweet shops or one of the supermarket within the local area has been doing some work with the schools. And by doing some work with the school is identifying families who are having issues or having some destitute issues. And therefore they create these hampers. And now that same sweet shop or supermarket, mini supermarket, is not taking stock from their company, but other companies or big business are sending it to them so they can help. That is good, right? So therefore, there is an impact based on the lockdown. So go further now. So we started the lockdown in March the 24th, my birthday. Don't know why they started it on that day, but hey, what can I say? They started on my birthday. And then we continued all the way down to June, July, August, and then they lifted it, July to September. And now they're in the process of starting it again because, of course, it is increasing. And the signs and the scientists are always saying, this is getting out of hand. We're in a lockdown a bit of Yorkshire, lockdown Manchester, locking down different places. But they don't want to lock down the whole nation. But the science, and according to what is looking, is pointing to that way. So I listen to Buju Banton, and I listen to different persons and different voices out there, which are saying conspiracy or whatever like that. And I draw this simple conclusion within my mind to say that maybe we should go through this process without no lockdown, right? No lockdown, no tier 1, no tier 2, no tier 3. Don't call it a lockdown. Companies who are able to have their staff working from home, because I know companies are now looking at scaling down their infrastructure, their security, their lighting, and all those sort of things, and trying to make some savings because staff are now being more comfortable of working home. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to share this as well. Share this video. Let me hear your thoughts. And thank you for coming on Instagram. This is just me, the unapologetic voice, on a Wednesday night where I just go with the flow, where we have no guests. But if I get to the guest, that is awesome. And I just share my views, share my thoughts in it. And I say to myself, I don't want you to tell me as well, don't you think it is better for the whole process to go through? Just carry on. Those who can work from home, work from home. Those who can't, go to work. Right? People also need to be responsible, because you can't have a government also completely, telling people what to do, how to operate, and things becoming like a sort of a nanny state. And I go into Marcus Rashford issue for argument's sake. I see something very powerful which is coming out of the whole thing with Marcus Rashford. People may not agree with the thinking that I have in regards to Marcus Rashford, but in regards to the fact that he stepped out and he's saying, hey, let's see if we can actually help those who are not able to help their children. Many people are saying, well, people shouldn't have much children. Some people are saying, well, people should be responsible for their children. One guy with a scale saying that if you have a phone, if you got this, if you got that, then you can take care of your children. But I see something else. I see so many different organizations, companies coming out, and they're actually supporting Marcus Rashford venture, right? Yet at the same time, there's a cry upon the government to help. The government says it can't, it's strapped for cash. Well, some people say, well, if you're strapped for cash, and we suggest that then you stop subsidizing your MPs when they go to the canteen at the House of Commons. We say you stop subsidizing the restaurants in order for that eat and help or so, which they had recently. That eat and help process was not just to help the restaurant, but also to help people who are suffering, keep employment alive, keep restaurants alive, and keeping the economy flourishing. But I see something else with the Marcus Rashford campaign. With the Marcus Rashford campaign, you are seeing persons who are out there actually coming forward and helping. Now, there was something years ago which David Cameron had called the big society. Now, I'm not going to say it's the big society reinventing itself, but I would take some sort of comparisons to a certain extent. Now, let me see if I can actually find that article which was there in regards. Let me see if I can find it, where it talks about, in view of the fact, and this is me saying, in view of the fact that as a result of Marcus Rashford making this move, you have so many organization companies coming forward and saying, hey, we can help, we can do this. Shame on the government, shame on the government, shame on the government. But by such shame on the government, we are seeing something else, whereby we are seeing people actually coming out and saying we can help. No wonder I'm planning to have an interview with someone in Jamaica talking about United Way. United Way, as to how they are doing, how they are coping, how they are getting help from corporate society, corporate organizations, and companies in somewhat helping the plight of young people, the plight of those who are in a destitute situation. In South Manchester, they said, just around the corner from Manchester United star Marcus grew up, one cafe bar is responding to the call to offer free meals to children and their families who desperately need it. Rustic in Disbury will be providing free breakfasts during the October half term, just one of many businesses who have rallied together to support the footballers' campaign to end child poverty. Ella Richard is the mother here, and she believes as a local business, they have an important role to step up and to help locals who need it. Families are important to us. I'm seeing something else which is happening, whereby people are coming out and actually helping. I think the day whereby everyone is waiting on government to do things is a time of the past. And I believe as societies and individuals step up to the plate and say, we're going to help. Because, listen, as far as I'm concerned, and I'll say it, we're all in this together. Do you agree, or do you not disagree, or do you disagree? Are we in this together? Yes or no? Let me hear your views. Let me hear your comments. Are you in this together? Do we believe so? Are we waiting on government to make that move? Are we waiting on members of parliament to make that move? Or are we waiting on the people to make that move? I believe this is a time where people take full control and people actually take an interest in their communities and do things. I recall in the neighborhood where I live, whereby we had a situation where we wanted to ensure that we take security of the place. And we had some alleyways where we needed to get these alleys secured. In order to get these alleys secured, we had to get some gates. In order to get those gates, we had to somehow pull together our resources within the community, and we went forth. And as a result of that, we end up getting those gates. And as a result of that, the councillors and I believe the mayor also contributed to that. And as a result, people power. As a result of that, people interaction. As a result of that, we made a difference, and we had no one to actually touch on our back and say pat, but we pat ourselves. It is time as much as possible for people to move away from government. Don't get me wrong, government is important and government has a part to play, but I believe so much is in our hands. And I believe with the COVID, I believe the best way is to go through it. We have to go, because until you go through it, you'll never know. Because each time we start to go through it and we stop and we pull back, we will not know what is on the other side. And we always keep U-turning. It's like in business. It's like your dreams. It's like anything that you want to do. During the course of that time, if you don't persevere, and you push against the odds, you have to push against the odds in order to see a breakthrough in anything that you do. If you have a business and you reach to a point whereby you're struggling, you need to go through that point. If you have a test, I never forget when I was studying land law in law school, and the lecturer said, go to courses, stay the course, go to your tutorials, go to your lecture. Even if you miss a lecture, stay with the tutorials, and as a result, it will fall in place one day. And I never forget the day it fell in place. The whole Land Law Act fell into place, but it was because of the continuity. And I don't think that as people we're going to be living like this, whereby we are putting on a mask, hiding. We've got to break through this, but I believe it's got to be a way. That's just my thinking. That's just my whole forte with the whole thing at this time. And it is so important. So I would like to hear your thoughts on that as I touch on the whole thing. But just looking at the recent news, Macron says second national lockdown in France declares. Emmanuel Macron has announced a second national lockdown. Macron said that on the new measures starting on Friday, people will be only allowed to leave home for essential work or medical reasons. Only allowed. Government is locking you down. Therefore, you have no say. Somebody say, well, a reason why, because Macron is having some issues with Turkey and all those sort of things, where, so therefore this could be a distraction. Non-essential business such as restaurants and bars will close, but schools and factories will remain open. COVID daily deaths in France are at the highest level since April. On Tuesday, 33,000 new cases were confirmed. But is that death? Macron said the country risks being overwhelmed by a second wave that no doubt will be harder than the first. What's going on here? What is going on? What is really going on? I don't know. What do you think? Can life be sustained like this? I take, for instance, even in Jamaica, where people, the tourist business is just shattered, almost cut to their knees. No matter how they try, and they're going to push it, but you can't do it without the visitors. Visitors are not coming from the UK. Visitors are not coming from the USA. Visitors, so they're saying staycation. But how long can that be sustained? So therefore, people are now have to think of different ways how to sustain the land. Go to the land, plant, food. It's like a metamorphosis which is happening. I think we have to go through this. We have to go through this to the point where we accept it and we go with the process. And I'm not going to say what Buju Banton say, but I say for those who are careless in the whole process, it will have consequences. You must social distance. You must actually control the virus. You must stay alert. You must wash your hands, which I've always find strange, because growing up in the Caribbean, we always wash your hands. Make sure when you cough, you cover your mouth. That is something which always happen. Now you got the mask, you wear the mask. Those are my thoughts. What do you say? What do you think? That's my thinking in regards to that. Now another topic which I wanted to just briefly touch on as well is BAME, Black and Minority Ethnic minority, and all those sort of things. It is a topic which is many people are saying that, listen, I'm no BME. All of a sudden, everybody's talking about they're not BMEs anymore. From I came in this country in 1992, when I came off the plane, everybody's talking about BME, black and minority ethnic, place you into this category, ethnic minority. And I always say I resist that. But it seems like it's a forte. It seems like it's been happening. But there's a new awakening now. A new awakening where nobody's wanting to be called BAME, black and minority ethnic, because it jumbles up everybody together in one big pocket. And policies are made in that respect for a group of people who are not of the same ilk, who don't see eye to eye, and are not together. And you cannot pull people together. I just simply say, dismantle that thing and just call people who they are. If you're black, you're black. Simple as that. No need to pretty it up or whatever. Black. I'm black. I'm black and I'm proud. You know? Black, young, gifted, and black. Somebody say Asian, I'm Asian. I'm Chinese. Everybody's been jumbled up into this thing, black and minority ethnic. I'm so glad that people are now waking up to the fact, and people are saying no more of this, and that's the end of it. So I don't know what your talks about that, but it is something which is going to be talking about, and many people are doing their studies. I don't see why studies are all that. You just need to just shut it down, call people who they are, because I think it is pathetic. It's like today, I don't know. I just think that some things are just pathetic, really. I saw this article, for argument's sake, today, and the article is with you know, LBC saying something to this nature. You know what it says: ethnic minorities and young people more likely to be made unemployed post furlough. Unemployed ethnic minorities and young people more likely to be made unemployed post furlough. You keep seeing it every day. You keep seeing it every day. Everybody latching on to black and minority ethnic minorities, put everybody in this box. And I just think that it is just media houses trying to gain some level of significance. It's like Black History Month now. Everybody's excited. I can't wait for November to come. After November, you see the real deal. Yeah, that's the real deal. Don't get excited about October, Black History Month. There are a lot of what you call nepotism. Not nepotism is the right word, but fake and gesture chicken, just getting people to feel like they're acceptable. One don't need to be accepted or feel accepted just because you go on a BBC or you are there and you get a space. You don't need that. You need to be accepted by knowing who you are, knowing your strength, knowing you as a person, knowing you as an individual. That's the most important thing. Right? And that's why I say these media houses just go away. I put it out there. LBC, can you stop your rubbish? People getting annoyed with these headlines. Do you think black people need some handout or some pity? Please go and fly a kite and leave us alone. We are no BME. We are no ethnic minority. Leave us alone. I think black people, really, I think people need to leave us alone. Let us get on with it. We need no special treatment. Affirmative action, positive affirmation. I don't think those things are necessary, personally speaking. But if people think they want it, they can have it. Because I believe that until we go through the process, it's just like with the whole thing with COVID, you got to go through the process, stand up on your feet, stand up on the ground, and go through the process. And by going through the process, you will stand. Trust me. We don't want any pretty patty, no handout, and all those things. No BME. Yeah. Forget those things called BME. Forget all those crap things. Forget all those things called ethnic minority. Forget all those policies which are supposed to be in favor. Stand on your own feet. You know, I think even like with Black history at this time, I think about the many years that our foreparents have gone through slavery, stand on their ground, fought, and they are now resting. I don't think they are turning in their grave, or they're dead. You know, many people say ancestors and all those sort of things. You know, don't kill me now, but you know, they're all dead. You know, nobody's rolling in their grave unless you're a duppy. As Usain Bolt say in that picture which I put up there, we know in a duppy business. Halloween is not for you know, Jamaica. We don't know duppy business. You know, and you know, I think we are at this point and at this juncture whereby we should be standing up and not looking back. And while we understand that there's the roots, while we understand that there is a foundation, while we understand that there is a past, but most important thing, a root is a root. Roots grow, and then you flourish and you grow into a plant flourishing. You can't stay in the roots and expect to see differences. You've got to grow. Or, because sometimes it just seems like we all want to stay in the roots. That doesn't mean to say you don't remember. That doesn't mean to say you forget. That doesn't mean to say you don't acknowledge. That doesn't mean to say you don't aware. But as a root, you don't stay there. A root grow and a root flourish. I'm SYLBOURNE SYDIAL, the unapologetic voice, sharing my views on a Wednesday night. Interesting times ahead. We've got to take full control of our destiny, ladies and gentlemen. Taking full control of our destiny. And, of course, November the 3rd is a big day, but that big day is for my mate, November the 3rd. And that is Charles Kieran. On November the 3rd, it is his birthday. He says, SYLBOURNE, do you know what is November the 3rd? I said, yes, it is your birthday, but it is something else. What is it? Well, they say November the 3rd is the election. One of the most toxic election that I've ever seen in my life, in my little time on this earth. Very toxic. So toxic that it's about love and hate. That I'm reminded of the song which is sung by Dennis Brown that says, love and hate shall never be friends. Whoa, here I come. Love and hate will never be friends. Love and hate will never be friends. This election in America is about love and hate. Nothing about policies. Nothing about policies. Policy is not the top echelons of what people are talking about. Personalities. Donald Trump, showman, apprentice, billionaire, millionaire, whatever. Don't pay tax, 750 or whatever they say. Trump. Personality. Yes, make America great again. Sleepy Joe Biden. Calm, peaceful. Let's bring some calm back. Let's bring some peace. Everything goes. Oh, we're just cool. Just flew. Kamala Harris. Hey, personality. Jamaican. Gotta get a Jamaican in. Oh, wow. No matter what she says, Jamaican. Forget about the policies. Jamaican. Mike Pence. Sound guy. Whatever. What are the policies? What are the policies? What are you voting for? And if you dare vote for the Republicans, you ain't black. And that is something else which is very interesting in America. That is something so interesting that if someone step out of line, if they're a black person, and they say, I'm going to go and vote Republican. I like the policy more, like 50 Cent. Ice Cube didn't say that he's going to vote for Trump. Ice Cube said that he wants to speak to them about something for the black people. Democrats didn't engage with him. And then also the Trump people said, we'll engage with you. So he talks to them. He didn't say he's going to vote for Trump. 50 Cent says, I'll vote because I don't want to be 20 cents or 25 cents. I want to keep being 50 cents. But then this lady came up, which is his ex-girlfriend, and said, I need to go and talk to him. I need to remind him that he's black. And when I heard that, I said to myself, remind him that he's black. And I watched some various commentary on the whole thing. Remind him that he's black. What is that actually saying? That is actually saying that, hey, bro, you are black. You cannot think that way. You cannot vote that way. You've got to stay on the plantation. I'm using those words there because it seems, and it is daunting, and it is a reality out there that if you are of a certain color, you are supposed to vote a particular way. The contents of a man's character is no more of relevance. It is the color of his skin that is being seen, right? And that is what is happening now. So toxic, so very toxic what is happening in America, and many people are getting it. That is why sometimes they say the polls never really reflect certain things properly, because a black person, if the polls ask, will not say they're going to vote for the Republican because of the attack, right? And sometimes they say the polls doesn't work. It's just like in the UK, the Conservative, when the recent elections, where the polls were saying something totally different than what happened. Because Conservatives tend not to say certain things, because if they say certain things, what will happen is that, hey, they're going to be attacked. And many people can't deal with it. Even just recent days, I saw a member of parliament named Bame, a conservative, being what should he say, being attacked for being black, for saying that he's of special treatment and all those sort of things. Don't know. Okay, so all of these things are just showing that, hey, you got to stay in the lane. I get my share of cussing for the for the position that I take. I'll get my share of cussing for being a conservative in the UK. I'll get my share of cussing for saying that if I'm in America, who I would vote for is the Republicans. And people find that somewhat a bit offensive. How can that be? How dare you? How dare you think like that? How dare you move away from that genre of thinking, genre of thoughts? How can you? You are black. But I say the time has come now where people will have to stand up to what they believe in, stand up against odds. And I'm just like last week I was saying to somebody that when they say that, hey, SYLBOURNE, you're an idiot. It was one of the most nicest things somebody ever said to me, that I'm an idiot because of my choices and my politics. And I found it very heartwarming, whereby it strengthens my resolve. Strengthens your resolve, whereby you don't care what people think. You don't care what people say. But you got to care about who you are. Once you know what you have, and I keep saying this all the while, and I say it when I do my walk in the morning from a motivational element. Once you know what you have, you become unstoppable, ladies and gentlemen. Take this from me, right, and take it to the back. Once you know what you have, you become unstoppable. Once you know what you have. Once you understand why you're here on this earth, you become unstoppable. Hello, Cello Bello TV. Good afternoon. How are you doing? What's your thoughts? What you say? Cello Bello TV, Trump 2020. Okay, I can see you there, loud and clear. Good evening, SYLBOURNE. Yes, we have to take full control of our utterance. Once those words leave one mouth, it can't be taken back. That is correct. Very toxic. Yes, America is very toxic at this time, And good evening. Yes, we have to take control. It is very toxic. And I love to hear persons' views, because I believe people are being taken for a ride. Honestly, people are being taken for a ride. Leaders are leading people down the path of rubbish. Gregory Forsyth, good afternoon. How are you, buddy? Hailing up all the way from Jamaica. Hello there over there on Instagram. Tonight is just where I just talk. I just go with my flow, not with the flow. Speak my mind, speak my politics, speak my views. Or so. The biggest election at this time. Citizen Booker want to be in your live video. Citizen Booker, I can't take you in my live video because I'm actually on Facebook and I'm on YouTube at the same time, and the Instagram is just my backup. You can go onto my YouTube at SYLBOURNE TV, or my Facebook at SYLBOURNE TV, but it's the same thing you're going to see because there's no guest tonight. This is just me, myself, and I rolling in the deep, you know what I'm saying? Rolling in the deep. So the question is now, who do you think is going to win this election in a few days' time? Who is going to win? Trump or Biden? Are you going by personalities, or are you going by policies? Personalities or policies for this election? Yeah, personalities or policies. What is it? Gregory for Cello Bello, landslide victory for Trump. Lorna, Joe Biden 2020. There it goes. Exciting. That's awesome. Now, I'm not going to bet anything on this. Yeah. Who is ahead in the polls? When I say polls again, sometimes I look at polls and I say to myself, polls, polls, polls. Are polls genuine? Those polls work. Even in Jamaica now, with Lisa and Mark Golden, I must say that I reach out to them and I've been speaking to them about coming on the show and to see if they can share even a 30 minutes with myself. I know that there's no benefit to them at this moment to their um, results by getting any votes from the diaspora, but I keep maintaining to Jamaican government and to Jamaican politicians that they need to come on the show. But lo and behold, I'm getting Miss Rhoda Crawford on Sunday the 8th. Rhoda Crawford is one who lady beat Peter Bunting, but I'm getting her on the show because we're going to talk about um, as a young lady getting into politics, the dream and the vision, and being able to represent her constituency and ultimately her plans for Jamaica, and ultimately what she's going to do for the diaspora. So that is great as well. And Sunday again, I'm going to discuss on a Jamaica issue about United Way with Mr. Paul Cole. Going to talk about that a little bit from now, but just to engage with that and all the different days which have a different show. But who is going to win in this election between Trump or Biden? If one is going to go by the crowd, I've been watching the crowd. I've been watching Barack Obama. You know what he says? I've been watching Yes We Can, and I've been watching Kamala Harris. Can't see the crowds, only see some cars. But Trump, everybody's out there. Not one of them have on any mask. No, I must confess, they do have on masks, but some people don't have any mask. And so I love and I love this song. I love it. I must say I love this song. This song that comes out on the Trump campaign. I'm proud to be American. Blah 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 blah. I love that song. I think it should be a national anthem also. Never underestimate the power of the diaspora without a vote. Never underestimate the power of the diaspora. You're right about that, Corey. It's right. But it seems like they don't want to engage with the diaspora. You know what I mean? But I still give them the opportunity to and keep reaching out, but they seem not to want to engage with the diaspora. What I want to talk about overseas voting as well. Gregory Forsyth, you say Trump 2020. Okay. Forsyth are usually difficult to take out the incumbent. That is correct as well. The polls are misleading. Polls are always misleading. Polls have been misleading from day one. That is why when anybody say who's going to win, I say, listen, I don't watch a polls. I go by my gut instincts. My gut instincts is that Trump is going to win. And if I'm going to watch by any signs, I don't watch the polls because the polls have not been right for a long time. People just not going to talk. Conservative people or black people who are voting Trump, they're not going to say anything because they don't want to keep back effect. They don't want the left beat them up or stuff like that. So everybody just keep quiet and everybody just say, hey, I'm just going to wait until I step into my polling booth where I'm going to be at peace with myself and I can do whatever I want to do. Right? That's it. But for Biden and Kamala, the only thing that I see there with their win, I see Kamala actually running the show because Biden is sleepy. Biden even say he's on a dream. He's something like he's supporting Kamala Harris. Biden calling Trump George Bush. George, I think I'm assuming George Bush. So Joe is sort of out there in a way, and he's saying things all over the place. So if I'm a person's American, I'd be very concerned about that. That's just my particular view. So so therefore, people are saying, yep, the view is looking like that's going to be the case for America. 7 days time or so, we'll see who is going to be the win. There's a Biden leading national presidential polls. Biden, they say, at 51%, Trump at 43%. BBC polls look at the individual national poll from the last 14 days and create. Everybody's having their polls. Which state will decide this election? Miss Clinton. The funny thing about Hillary Clinton, I still think those people are still in that hall. There are people who are in that hall and they were waiting. And I think they're still waiting for the vote to come through I still think they're waiting there in America for the polls to come true as much as possible, you know. So so anyway, America is America. Let's wish for the best and pray for this healing, because I must say I saw some fighting going on, and I just think it is so unnecessary. People sharing their views and people having a go at them, Antifa, Proud Board Moment, you know, everybody just having a go at the whole thing, and it's just getting totally ridiculous. I long for those days when you used to watch the Jeffersons, the Bill Cosby show, the Cosby Show, um, the Good Times, Eddie Murphy, Raw, and Delirious. Those good old days, listening to Ray Goodman and Brown, listening to some nice songs, Jeffrey Osborne, Peter. Those nice period of America, the place that you normally want to go, doesn't seem sexy anymore. Doesn't seem nice. It seems very toxic. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg and Twitterland and all those guys trying to control the narrative. Nobody, everybody's trying to hide things. It is just not fair. You know, you know, yeah. Yes, Gregory. Yes, Virgin. Those were the days, man. Those were the days. Gregory, I tell you, we need to talk about racehorse, man, and talk about your horses. That seems to be something more interesting at this time. And when people challenge me about why I think Trump's gonna win, I just say, I just think so. That's it. I don't get into no debate anymore. I can't debate on these issues. Who am I to debate? I don't have any vote for America. And people, I've had families who are family members. I say that to people all the while, but I don't care. I got friends who, anytime I want to get any more space to add more friends, I simply just say I'm a conservative and I lose 3 or 4 friends. And if I want to get more space, I say I vote Trump. And people say, how dare you, blah, blah, blah. And they call me names. And I just say, let it be. And it's good. It's good when people can actually share their thoughts about what they think about you at these times. It's good because it gives you peace and you know who your friends are, and then you can just move on. Simple as that. This world is comprised of billions of people, ladies and gentlemen. Billions upon billions upon billions. Billions upon billions. Billions upon billions upon billions. And it's exciting. And who cares about 1 or 2 persons don't like you? The thing I say all the while, once you know who you are and what you have, you become unstoppable. Once you know who you are and what you have, you become unstoppable. So moving on now, just to talk about for the rest of the week, as usual, tomorrow night I'm with the team, with Kima, Keisha, and there we are, the super team. Bingo, Tuesday the 29th of October, Thursday the 29th of October, with David, Kima, and Keisha. I think Kima and Keisha birthdays tomorrow. I think Keisha's husband is taking her out. A big story there because Keisha is saying it's my birthday first. Kima is 30 minutes after. So one is 30 minutes more than the other. So I might get another person to come in and to fill that slot there, where we're going to look at the top news. And Dr. David Burton, who leads there, will be talking about where we're at with COVID and to give that update regarding that. We do that every Wednesday, every Thursday at 9 o'clock UK time. Please make sure you tune in. It's fun, it's fantastic, and it is great. And we've been doing it for a while. Great team, and it is fantastic. And on Friday, I keep my word where I said I'm gonna keep talking about young people. And yes, I've got this lady Esther Adusi, film director. On the youth connections, I still make sure that I keep the youths close to me as much as possible. She's of Nigerian heritage. We're going to talk briefly on what is happening in Nigeria, but most importantly, we're going to be talking about her as a film producer and an activist, and how she used films to generate her story and to be active. Because everybody has their own different gifting, I mean, last week I was in Lewisham, where what I do a lot is talking, and I was speaking about the unfair way, or the LTN, and how Lewisham is actually charging people over £3 million, £130 for people driving in some lanes, some roads, which all of a sudden is blocked because they're trying to create this traffic warming thing, falling down, and as a result of that, it is creating havoc upon people. So yeah, so activism come in different ways. So we're going to talk about that with Esther and that is going to be fantastic. And without a doubt, on Saturday, no, yesterday Saturday. Who is that? I'm on Saturday. Oh, Saturday. Saturday, I have this young lady in Jamaica, Timmy Mattis, and you know, she's gonna come on the show. She's a singer, songwriter, and she's gonna come on talk from Jamaica with the wonderful section which I call Across the Atlantic. Across the Atlantic is where we look at some of the people from around the world, about from South Africa, already from the USA, from Canada, and of course I always tap back into Jamaica as well. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. And on Sunday, I'm creating another slot to deal with Jamaica, specifically on Jamaica, specifically in Jamaica. This is my flagship. I'm going to have Paul Cole, a good mate of mine. He's going to talk about United Way and the work that they're doing, and we're going to sort of make some comparisons with the UK and Jamaica at this time as to how things can be done. I think Jamaica sometimes is ahead of how the UK operate. I think Jamaica is ahead in some respect. Believe it or not, I believe Jamaica is very much ahead in many ways. You know, let me see what Lorna said. Everyone has a right to vote for their choice. You're right about that, and don't have to tell nobody. You know. So yes, I'm going to talk to Paul on Sunday, and during the course, if you bear with me, I'm hoping to have both Lisa Anna and Mr. Mark Golden, speaking to them, talking to them, waiting to hear from them, sending out the SOS, sending out my people to get them to see if they can come on the show, and to what their views. I had a lot of questions that people have asked. A lot of questions. People have asked me a lot of questions that they have submitted as to what they would like to ask both Mark Golden and Lisa Anna. Mark Golden is running for the president of the People's National Party, and then ultimately to be a potential prime minister. Likewise, Lisa Anna, she's running to be the president of the People's National Party, and ultimately the prime minister. So there they are, both of them. Hopefully, wish them all the best. They're both duly nominated now as potential candidates, and we'll see how that goes. But I definitely am looking forward to Rhoda Crawford. Rhoda Crawford in a week and a half, the 8th. Hopefully get Rhoda Crawford on. She won in Manchester Central, but not from a political perspective, even though I like to hear her views, but as to her thoughts about politics as a young person, why she went into politics, and most importantly, what's her views for Jamaica, what's her views for young people, what's her thoughts regarding the diaspora, because every single politician now in Jamaica has a duty for the well-being of Jamaica. And from the diaspora perspective and from a Jamaican overseas, I like to do that level of engagement. So that was it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I set the stage for this week, an exciting week, and I look forward for you to joining me. Those on Instagram as well. Hibiscus Lodge Hotel. Hey, Hibiscus Lodge, straight from the yard. Corey, Jackie, Citizen Bear, all the best, all the best, all the best. Yeah, take care of yourselves, guys. And remember to like and subscribe, share this video. Let me hear your views. I love to hear your views as much as possible. Don't delay. It's also on YouTube. Lorna, have a good night. Gregory Bridgen, let's talk as we talk regularly every day still. And like and subscribe to the SYLBOURNE Show. I hope you like my backdrop. I've highlighted it. It's the same one from 2015, same backdrop which I've had for years. That's my branding, but I've done some tweaking to it, and it's getting excited. Going from better, best, and to ultimate rest. As I said, once you know what you have, you become unstoppable. And that's a word for somebody out there. Once you know what you have, you become unstoppable. Once you know what you have, you become unstoppable. But you have to know what you have. If only you know what you know that is inside of you, then you'll be surprised, or it makes a big difference. Challenges will come, yes, but those challenges will just be like a stepping stone as you go further, because it is there for a purpose. But you're not wading back and forth into different things. You are creating waves because you know what you have. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm SYLBOURNE SYDIAL. Have a good night, and may God bless you and keep you. May His face shine upon you, and may He give you peace